Hey guys, my name's Sam and welcome to Prep Medic. In this week's video, we are reviewing my new favorite placard for TEMS operations. So in front of you, I have the Maximus Placard by HRT Tactical, and like I just said, this is kind of my new favorite piece of equipment for tactical EMS, which is one of my roles here in Colorado. So today I want to review this piece of gear, but before we really get into it, a little bit of background for those of you that might not be familiar with what placards are. This is what's called a swift clip placard. What that means is that instead of what we used to do traditionally to mount equipment to our vests, which was take a holster or something and we'd weave it through the MOLLE on the front of a vest, it took a lot of time, and it also didn't really allow us to change the vest up very often just because it was so difficult. These swift clips allow us to really rapidly change our loadout. So all I have to do to put this on here is attach that up there, attach this guy here, and it sits well on the vest and it's held secure by the hook and loop backing. You can get different tie downs that will bring this back to the cummerbund if you don't feel like this is secure enough. Honestly, I've never had an issue and I've actually been running swift clip placards for a long time. Now, there are a lot of different placards on the market. This one's from Spiritus Systems, this one's from RDR Gear, and this is what I was using before receiving this guy in the mail. So there are a lot of different choices, and what's really cool is that if I'm going to the range, I can have one set up as like a tactical shooter's placard. I can put that on here, and then if I'm going to work or I'm doing my TEMS team stuff, I can take what I want for that and throw it on the vest really, really quickly. I know people are going to ask what this plate carrier is. I have a full review on this. This is the Ice Plate EXO. Really nice plate carrier, and it is my primary lightweight vest for TEMS operations. So what I really like about this placard and what sets it apart is its customizability to the TEMS side of things. So most placards are not specifically made for medics, especially unarmed medics. For those of you that don't know, here in Colorado, I am a part of a special operations response team, which we attach to 2 different SWAT teams as well as SAR and dive rescue. But when we are in our tactical role, we are not armed. We have a bodyguard with us at all times. So we are armored up, we're able to go into hot zones, but we are not ourselves carrying rifles or pistols. And unfortunately, a lot of the other placards on the market, a lot of the other chest rigs are really solely designed to carry a ammunition loadout and don't really give you the right customization to fill it with medical supplies and other tools, which is one of the things that HRT kind of thought of in this placard, if you ask me. So you can customize this into a tactical loadout, and I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to go through this piece by piece, and really, I haven't loaded this how I'm going to carry it. I just kind of threw a bunch of supplies in here to give you an idea and an example of how you could set this up, but it's going to take a little bit more experimenting for myself. The placard itself, this is a 500D Cordura nylon. It is reinforced stitch, so very, very sturdy, not worried about this coming apart. And then on all of it, you have these really heavy-duty paracord zipper pulls, really easy to access and get open and closed. They're not going to break off anything like that. So on the front, obviously, we have these 2 big stash pockets, which we'll get into. And then on the top, we actually have a kangaroo pocket. And this is one of the things that sets this placard apart. So in here, this zipper that I have in the top to make this into kind of the more TEMS-oriented pack, so it's big admin pocket at this point, this zipper can actually come out, and I can put in an insert to hold AR mags. They have one for a little bit heavier loadout and a little bit of a lighter rifle if you want that as well. And this can go in there in place of the zippered pocket, and you can actually carry your regular ammunition if you are in one of those tactical roles. On either side, you have these 2 utility pockets. So like right now, I just placed a multi-tool in one side, I placed a flashlight in the other side. But if you do want this to be more of a tactical placard, you can take one of these or 2 of these, which they come with, and they're easily removable, throw that in there, and this will accept single and double stack pistol mags if you do want that loadout. Kind of neat there. Now, one thing and one improvement I would like to see with this is if they really do want to market it to TEMS a little bit more, expanding these pockets or making them more elastic to allow us to carry some tourniquets in the side. As it stands now, this isn't going to take a CAT T or a CAT tourniquet or a SWAT T or anything like that on the side. So I would really like the ability to carry some tourniquets on the side there. That being said, you can get a couple of their inserts. This is really easy. This can just stick on the back and you can carry a tourniquet on the side just like you would anyways. So coming into this placard in and of itself, we have two kind of kangaroo pockets on the front, I guess you'd say, or two admin pockets. These open with two zippers. Now this brings me to kind of my second issue with this placard, is that these two are right next to each other, and it just makes it kind of hard to zip this zipper up and down while it's in this position. Now granted, it's really easy to open, so you'll never have issues getting to your stuff, and you can just open one side, but I would like to see a little bit more space granted on either side, or maybe a different closure mechanism for it. We can open this up, and it does have two catches, so this isn't just going to dump out and dump all of your stuff, which is kind of nice in a lot of these situations. So we're really used to seeing IFAKs on tactical vests, which have like rip-away components. As a TEMS medic, where you're using a lot of what's on your vest to treat other people, I don't really want something that comes out of this, because then I have to tuck it back in. It's nice to fold this down and then have a workspace and still have all my equipment right here. On the lid here, you can see this has some loop backing. So if you want to take like one of these guys, this is an elastic loop, not included with this placard. You can throw it in there, hold something else on the inside, or you can keep that blank and use it as a workspace. You have these two elastic loops in here. So like in here, I just threw in some packing gauze, two things of packing gauze, one quick clot, one just regular NAR compression gauze. And then the back, we have kind of a long slide-in pocket, which I put in a Crike tube with a bougie attached. So all in all, you can fit quite a lot of things in one of these sides. Now, the other side is identical, and you can put whatever you want in here. So in here, I basically have the full IFAK's contents. I've got a big compression dressing in the lid. I've got two ARS needles, a Sharpie, a scalpel. I've got the NPA in there, as well as a hyphen chest seal. So basically all of your components on an advanced IFAK, you know, with a Crike tube, with your ARS needles, scalpel, Sharpie, all of that, you can carry a lot in these front two admin pockets. Or if you're more doing a tactical loadout, you can put your multi-tool in one of these, you can put your flashlight in another one, you know, a notepad back here, something like that. A lot of different uses for these two pockets. I just happen to like it as a TEMS organization scheme. You'll notice I kind of have the same thing going on with my heavy vest. So this is my First Spear CJR Optimize, and I've placed two pouches side by side to kind of mimic what this does. Now, upon receiving this, I actually ordered the attachment for this to allow this to be placard compatible, so I can actually take this and move this from one vest to another one and not actually change loadouts, which I think is really nice. So like we were talking about at the beginning, we also have this top pocket here, this kangaroo pocket that can be converted to an AR mag holder. Now this zipper is just a really small insert into the top, and it just closes the top. It's actually pretty slick. A lot of these other brands like Spiritus Systems are doing the same things. There's companies that are making these zippered inserts if you want to make it into something. That being said, I bought this guy came to me, and I didn't really have to modify it. It was like this, and I got the zippered insert and I was good to go. I have spent the last 6 months building the Spiritus Systems chest rig here, trying to get each component because it's small batches, so getting the top zipper pocket, getting the right flap for it, making sure I get the shoulder straps, all of that. It's taken a long time, where this was a little bit of a quicker turnaround and I didn't have to modify it quite as much. So in this guy, we've got, I just threw a muzzle in, for a dog. I put in a little reference guide there, a hypothermia blanket, and then some frog tape. And this is just a big open admin pocket. We could throw organizers in there. This will fit like a tourniquet. If you want to put like 3 tourniquets across, that would work and you could still zip it up. But ultimately, I think these are going to be better suited staying on the outside a little bit better. They don't fit super well. And that brings me to my final complaint about this, is that these guys here just aren't quite big enough to stow the tourniquet. You can do it. This will close on a tourniquet, but it does make it hard to carry a second one next to it, and you can't always fold them how you normally do them. So it will fit, but it's kind of a tight close on it. Despite the couple setbacks this has, I do really like this placard, and I am transitioning over my duty gear to actually fit inside this because it just works a lot better. It carries a lot more of what I need. And then the fact that it's quick release, that I can take and put it on my CJR Optimized. I can take the same loadout, put it on my lightweight vest. That really helps me out because I don't want to be operating out of different loadouts, get under stress, and then not know where something is, which is really, really valuable. And plus, that does allow me to use these vests if I'm going to the range or doing practice with a different team, something like that, where I am carrying a firearm. I can transition the front placard to something a little bit more tactically oriented as opposed to medically oriented. Now, I do have to say Skinny Medic actually runs this exact same placard on his TEM setup, except his is black, mine is multicam, because of the teams we run with. He did have it first, but I don't know if he's actually done a video on it, so I'm gonna kind of claim the bragging rights there. If you have any questions about this or HRT Tactical, please let me know in the comments down below. I will link everything I mentioned in this video down there as well, and I will see you next week.